allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in a moment of silent prayer. Amen. Okay, we've had the agenda published and it's been out there. Do we have a motion to approve that?
Support.
Moved and supported. Any other comments? Otherwise, everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I don't think I see any citizens wanting to talk today, but if I'm wrong, speak up or forever hold your peace. Okay, we'll skip that then. You have the minutes from the November 3rd council meeting. That is Exhibit 1 in our packet. Hopefully you've had time to take a look at those.
Move for their approval.
Okay, support. Any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's approved. Today we get Noah Minnick is going to represent the Park and Rec Department and kind of give us an update on some of their activities. Welcome, Noah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. So today I'll kind of give you an update on the busy year we've had this year in the Parks and Recreation Department. So our staffing, Assistant Parks and Recreation Director is still Jaron Paw. I think this is his second year with us, and he's doing an awesome job, and we're very thankful for him and to have him. He runs the pool, and he's helps with rec and park stuff, and he does an awesome job. We hired Jackson Miller. He's from Rochester, Minnesota. Him and his wife and his daughter moved to Orange City. He's our park supervisor. We hired him back in March. And right now he's learning and he's doing a great job. He's a hard worker and he's doing a wonderful job for us. So we're happy. I'm very thankful for those two guys to have him in my department. Bruce Jacobsma filled in with us until his retirement. We were able to have him mow and do some odds and ends jobs, which really helped us out a lot. So we were thankful to have him as well. And our department was made up of 14 part-time staff in the summertime as well, from high school kids to older adults. Going on to recreation. So our recreation numbers, so we had summer rec, we had 775 participants within 20 programs this summer. I think I had a record number for my first and second grade baseball and t-ball, where we might have to split up some teams. I might need to do some thinking about reorganizing fields because we had just a lot of kids, which is a great problem to have. But yeah, some different challenges or some different opportunities for change coming up this summer. We had 100 plus parent, volunteer, and paid coaches that helped us out. And honestly, without those parents and those volunteer coaches, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of our rec programs. Flag football saw 205 participants, and that was first through sixth grade. And the NWC football team, again, helped out with that. And Coach McCarty is great about getting those guys organized. And I wonder who has more fun, the coaches or the kids sometimes, because it gets pretty competitive. Basketball, we had 160 participants, and that was first through fourth grade. And then soccer, we had 504 participants, and Northwestern College soccer team, Coach Zweer helped line that up, and we had them help coach again. So very thankful for them. Here's some pictures of just some summer recreation stuff and fall recreation. Pool, we had 22 lifeguards in Orange City. We had 260 kids take our public lessons. But we had still, ever since COVID, private lessons has been really popular and has really taken off. So a lot of people do utilize the private lessons times. We had 50 dogs at our doggy swim, which was quite the sight to see. See all those dogs running around and swimming, but that's a fun way to end the summer. We did get new filters, which was a really, really big improvement, and I am thankful that we did that. And I'll show a picture of those in a little bit. We got new pumps at the beginning of the season. Our main pool pumps were starting to kind of slow down, and we were a little worried that we might have issues throughout the summer, so we went ahead and purchased 2 new main pumps for the pool, and those should last us for 6 to 8 more years. So membership, we had 13,397 admissions throughout the summer. So that's a member coming in and punching in their card. So members came 13,000 times this summer to the Orange City Pool. This was our old pool filters. As you can see, those are just as old as the pool was. And then these are our new pool filters. So that should help a lot with water quality. And yeah, that got done this September. So we're really excited to get those put in and finish that project finished. So parks projects. So we're a pretty busy year in the parks. We had RAGBRAI this year, and we had 228 garbage cans put out over city properties and campgrounds. So that was quite an experience. We had the MOC Play Valley Band helped us with that, and then we also had our park staff help as well. And I thought it went really smooth on our end. Brian continues to be a really valuable asset to us. He's been finishing up the last of the windmills, and he also fixed the bridge. So the bridge is done across the canal. That was starting to sink and rot, and everything he's done from the windmills to the bridge has all been made out of plastic. So it should last a really long time instead of going with wood that rots. He got the bottom half of the Sarah windmill done, and now he's going to work on the vanes. We had a vane break on another windmill, but working on those 2 vanes throughout the winter, and then finishing up that spring the rest of the big windmill. And then all of the windmills will have been fixed up and replaced. So he's done a great job of that. Obviously, the Windmill Park, the Vogel project, we're really thankful for the donation that Vogels gave. It's going to be a huge, attractant to that park. It's going to really bring people in, I think, from all over, and we're really excited to see the finished product. John Buntsma and Nora Mulder were kind of our head volunteers that helped bring people together and help plant those tulips. Windmill Park saw 30,950 tulip bulbs planted just in Windmill Park. And they had 30 to 40 volunteers on Friday and Saturday that helped. So we're really thankful for those volunteers. The other city properties were helped plant by First Christian Reformed Church's youth group as kind of a sponsorship. So they were very helpful as well. July, we had the derecho, which took down quite a few trees on our properties and did it kind of set us back a little bit. Everyone saw it. There was a lot of trees down. I think Puddle Jumper Trail alone, we've taken 60 to 65 trailer loads off of Puddle Jumper alone. And that work will continue to go this winter as we're kind of slowing down with some stuff in the park. So the guys will continue to trim trees and clean up areas. The dugouts and shade structures at the pool parks got finished. That was a big asset. It really adds to that. Those ball fields, I think, gives it looks a lot more professional, and people really enjoy the shade. Wildster Park Shelter House got finished, and we had that open for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm looking forward to having that fully open. You can rent it out. We have a refrigerator in there. Everything's up and ready to go for this upcoming spring, so people can rent it out this spring, summer, and fall. Pickleball courts, continuing to work with those. They're up right now, but with some water drainage issues on the courts, standing water. I think this spring we're looking at getting that, working with the company to help get that replaced and taken care of. Disc golf course, we got signage up out there, and we also put in stairs so that people can cross the trail instead of having to climb up. We have homemade stairs. Jackson's about 6'3", and he kind of went off his steps. So when I went out there, I was, wow! But it's been awesome. So he's a lot taller than me. So Dunlop got seeded from the FEMA money we got that got seeded where the water went over the banks, and there was also a new perimeter that was put around the park out there, the play structure out there. So we put a new wood perimeter out there instead of that plastic one. Vets Park Trail also got completed this fall. A couple other things I forgot to mention or put up there was the Elliot DeRoy. He did some work for us with some signage along Albany and I think it's 3rd Street, that the big signage there, and also the windmill phone booth as well. He fixed those up, so that adds a lot of life to those. Let's see here. Yeah, and then so I handed out some. You should see on your desk chair area. So the Windmill Park play structure. We had Miracle come out there. It's actually a gentleman from Boland Recreation that they sponsor, or they work with Miracle. He came out here and he deemed it not safe to use after the storm. There was cracks, things were bent. So we shut it down to kind of save us from having any issues with anything that would come up. We had insurance look at it. Insurance came back favorable. We're going to be getting some money to replace that. So we have kind of 3 options here, and this is just replacing that piece of playground equipment. So we're working with the space that we're given. So when we work with parks and playground equipment, they have to have a certain fall range. So these options are what would fit within that fall range, and that would work in this area. So that first sheet, that's to replace, to keep the main base and frames that are not broken, replace the ones that are broken, and replace the stuff, the play equipment that has received damage. So that's our first option that we have, and that's this sheet of paper right here. Then the second option that we have 2 options. This would be starting new. This would be replacing that play structure altogether. I have some, if you can look here, there's 2 different options. As you can see, there's option 2, which brings us to about $91,935. And then there's option 3, which gives us $99,805 is what it would cost. Now we are getting insurance money for it, which is going to help us out. I really think that we have a really good opportunity here to replace this play structure entirely. That play structure is probably 20 years old, and the lifespan is about 25 to 30 years. So I called Boland Recreation, and they can. I told them we need to have something done with this, because obviously with the Windmill Park getting renovated with the Vogel's gift, we want to have that area open and looking nice. So whatever we do, I have them scheduled for early spring. I think the wait time, if we were to go with new, would be about 4 weeks. So if we can work with them, and I've talked with Kent, and Matt and I have been in discussion, but we feel like this is a really good opportunity to look at replacing that play structure.
Do you have a preference on option 1 or 2 or 3?
You know, I think I personally like option 2, or excuse me, option 3. That gives us a little bit more different playing opportunities there, different play structures, and I think that would look nice. And obviously, like the pictures you're looking at, they would color match to match with our. So it wouldn't be that neon green, bluish. We would be able to have them color match to the current, what the other structures, playground structures are as well. So I just wanted to give you guys that update, let you know that that's what we're looking at, and you guys can look that over. But we'd like to, have this opportunity to replace it and do something with that. So
they were between the parks and the Vets Monument and some trees. We actually had a pretty favorable outcome with tree damage that they gave us for trees. I think we're 125,000. Is that right? Remember that? I think it's 125. So we basically are exposed That's after a $25,000 deductible. Kind of shooting from the.
What was the second thing you mentioned?
So,
So,
go ahead.
so the Vets Monument went down. The
Yeah.
Veterans Memorial Monument. And then we also they gave us about, what was it, $1,000 for trees? For each,
45 trees.
for about 45 trees. So we got about $45,000 for trees. And I'm working with Eric Ribbons right now from Green World, creating a tree replacement plan, from trees we've lost, and then trees we lost from the storm, and from also disease as well. So that's part of it too. And then the playground structure, they went off of what our the playground inspector had recommended. I think they did depreciate it, but if we were to replace it, they'd give us that back. I don't want to tell you anything wrong, but that's kind of was what Kent and I had discussed, or we had talked about.
So do you need a decision by the council to go with one of the options soon, or?
Well, I think I wanted you guys to know and to look over it. I don't know if I mean, we would like to proceed. I guess I don't know if we need a.
We can bring a recommendation or just authorize.
I'm okay with us taking a vote tonight if you guys are. I mean,
And the smaller play structure in Windmill Park is okay?
Yeah. Yep. So that smaller one is fine. We had those big trees that fell on and took the main brunt of the force was that bigger play structure. So that was, and it was just, we thought it was more aesthetic, like, punch holes through the roof, but we had the inspector come out and he's like, well, you don't know what happened, under, and it was bent. And so just for our own liability safety, we just decided to close it until we got something figured out.
other questions, just
Yeah.
in general questions for Noah, and then when we're done with that, if you're willing to, somebody to make a motion, we'll consider that. But first, any other questions? A lot of good stuff, Noah. Thanks. I know with all the trees down and all that, that's a lot of extra work. Trying to get everything done and getting phone calls and.
Well, I have to say that the main week I was gone, Jaron and Jack, I was in Canada fishing with no cell service, and kind of saw pictures every once in a while. I was like, it can't be that bad. And then got into, it was that bad. So I was very thankful for Jackson and Jaron, who took that full week they took charge. So.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I would think too, just hearing, all that Northwestern does to help us with the rec program, that's huge.
Absolutely.
I mean, 500 kids, that's a lot to have in a soccer program, so. Okay, if there's no other questions, thank you, Noah. Does anybody want to make a recommendation? There's a motion, I'll take it, otherwise we'll move on.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to go with option 3.
Is there support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Say get it ordered.
All right, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Yes, you are up. By the way, we're switching it to Prairie Winds Event Center with Jess as our director.
Gotta find my. All right. Thanks for having me, guys. Just a review on Prairie Winds Event Center in the last year. This is, if you've seen my slideshow in the past, it's very similar. I did change this up a little bit. This is the amount of days that we have booked for each calendar year. In the past, I had presented how many events we had booked, but this is like the total of days. So weddings tend to book that day before. We have some commercial events we'll book the day before, or events that book 3-4 days solid. So I kind of grouped all those numbers together so that way you got an accurate representation of how many days we're actually booking. 2024, and I've talked to other vendors, was kind of a fluke year with us just being incredibly busy. We had 69 wedding days booked. We did 52 weddings and then that many more booked the day before. So it was a very busy year, but I don't know if we'll ever see quite that number again. I hope so, but yeah, I'm not sure if we'll ever get there. Event rental over the year. So this just shows our increase in pricing that we've also done. So over the past 5-6 years, we've really looked at our pricing and established a closer number to what we would need. So there's less of a deficit for the city to subsidize. So numbers are going up. The weird thing about our fiscal or how we bring in revenue is if they book an event, let's say 2025, that'll go on this fiscal calendar, but the rest of their payments will go on the next one when their actual event happens. So everything is kind of split every year. It's just kind of how everything works. Bar revenue over the years. So when we accumulated or acquired the bar from Blue Mountain after they closed, obviously our profit went up quite a bit, and it's just kind of following the lead of our event rental numbers too. Major staffing update for us. We hired Madison Follett back in February. She was the assistant manager over next door at their event center. So had her come over here, and she has been great asset. She's managed every other event that I'm not there. She's handling, and she's very hands off. She can just do the job, which has been very nice. Great asset to the team, and the staff love her as well. Just a few projects that we have completed along with some necessary maintenance repairs. The building is over 10 years old. I think we're at 12 years old now. So just trying to keep up on that maintenance, trying to keep it functional so that we can also charge what we want to charge to make that money. So landscaping, we kind of been working on landscaping for the last year and a half with Heemstra. Behind the building, on the south side towards the hospital, there were some dead bushes. There were 17 of them. They were all around this circle pad. Ripped those out, replanted those with Heemstra. Lots of watering this year as well. So that's looking great, and that'll hopefully be another photo op spot for our couples and other events, and to hide the businesses back there a little bit too. On both the east and the west side of the building, we also had new bushes ripped out and then new ones planted along with remulching. We had some very overgrown bushes that just they were on the side of the building, so we didn't really think about them as much. But now Eric's been great coming in, giving us ideas and suggestions on what you should do. In our office, if you've been in our building, you may have seen this change a little bit. We converted a storage room that's in the lobby to my office, and then Madison is in the other office with our staff. We outgrew that office. Once you added 2 managers and a giant printer, and then you have 5 or 6 staff members in there during an event, it was just too small. So that has been a really nice change. I can see people right as they're walking in the door for my office, so that's been great. They don't have to come around the corner, peep in, and scare us, more or less. So that's been a really good change. We also lock all of our gifts and cards during the wedding. My office does tend to turn into a little bit of a storage room during a wedding, and that's perfectly fine. Another thing I talked to Kent about a little bit, and I just wanted to let you just be aware, we are digitizing all of our files, going back to as far back as we have the files. I think 2015. So we're scanning everything in, making files, folders, so that we can reference those for people that may have not booked in the last year, 5 years since I've been here, but we can look up their files from previous years. I started that in 2023, building a file management software, or a program. So that's been a big task that we do in our downtime. So this month in January is what we'll be doing. We'll be scanning in a lot of documents. We had a major upgrade with our AV. We had an iPad that ran the entire building, shades, music, AV, video, all of it. If that iPad were to have dropped or broken, we would not have been able to run the building. But we couldn't get a new iPad without updating the entire AV rack. Technology, fun things. So we did a major upgrade, and now we have a brand new iPad, brand new software. They formatted it so that it's actually easier to run as well. So I can maybe have other people doing it if I'm busy or, things like that. That's been a really big asset. And I think that was about $40,000 investment there. Air conditioning. This was an unexpected maintenance that we had to do really early in the year. We keep the building pretty cool because people are busy, moving around, hot. So we noticed early in the year that the air conditioning was not keeping up. I think that was in like April or so. And there were some compressors that were out, some other small parts. And then, so we got Notaboom in, everything. Took about 10 weeks for them to get the parts in. So we were running it through July with about 50% of our air conditioning. Thankfully, Matt and other departments stepped in and borrowed us some giant fans that got us through. We didn't have any major issues, but if we would have gotten any farther into the year, like into August when we were having those really hot days, we would have needed more fans, I guess. But it's all fixed now. Everything's been working great. Ongoing projects. Like I said before, we're working with Heemstra on some landscaping projects. The next possible project would be in the front of the building. He's got plans for a bench or bushes or all kinds. He's got a lot of different plans. So we're looking at seeing what we want to do, what we don't necessarily need, and then kind of go from there. It is a major photo spot in the front of the building, so I'm a little protective of how it looks because it's also great marketing for us when they take photos in front of the building. So want to make sure it's right and we can do what we need to do. Office, like I said, we're just digitizing all of our files into a data management. Cleaning and maintenance. This is a very short list of little things that we need to do. We need to replace all the light bulbs in the chandeliers, which requires us getting a lift and then somebody coming in, going 40 feet in the air. So we're planning on doing that in January, I believe. We have 2 or 3 light bulbs that are going out, so we figured we'll just change them out, the whole thing. We have some concrete repairs that we need in the front of the building. The sidewalk is just kind of cracked, like the building kind of just sunk, or I'm not exactly settled, I guess, but we've got some major cracks. People wear heels in front of our building, so we got to make sure that they're not breaking their ankles. And then our outdoor staircase, so the staircase on the back of the building that probably nobody has used, has some rusting and where some of the uprights have split. So because they didn't have a drain hole, so water got into it and froze at some point. So we're continuing to monitor it. It's been inspected as far as I know, and it's fine, but if it gets any worse, then we'll have to look at a project for that. Maybe only replacing part of it or however we need to do it. Projects of the future. We have talked about the dance floor, the wood floor, so many times, so many years. So we were planning on doing that this coming January, but because we had to do the air conditioning and the AV earlier in the year, we pushed the flooring off again to 2027, January of 2027. So nothing has really changed with that. We just keep moving it down depending on what other necessary projects we need to do. This is necessary, but we can probably get away with not doing it if we absolutely have to. We are looking at doing the new version of the current wood that we have. So I have all the options out there, but as of where we landed, I believe, Brett, we decided the newer version of the wood that we have. We are looking at installing additional cameras. We currently do not have any on the outside of the building. That one, that kind of comes to you guys, and if you guys want to have outdoor cameras, I'm really more curious on having the upstairs, another upstairs camera. Right now we have one camera upstairs and it's pointed right at a pillar, so it doesn't really do much, and we currently have a bar up there. So when we're having a bar, I'd like to have something that's in that range so we have eyes on it at all times. So my preference is at least adding one upstairs, and then if we can or would like to, adding up to 4 outside, just to protect the building. We are, like I said, getting a little bit older, so we are looking at equipment replacement, plates and silverware and chairs, specifically plates and silverware. Tens of thousands of people have eaten off of these plates and silverware, and they are starting just to get a little scratched and scuffed and banged up. And so for our the types of events that we're having and what we're charging, we want to make sure that we're having good-looking equipment. So we're looking at about $3,000 for plates, about $1,500 for silverware, just knife and fork, butter knife and fork. And then if we were to do chairs, maybe about $13,000, depending on where we get the chairs from, and quality of chair. Chairs can range anywhere from $20 to $120 a piece. So there's kind of some choices in there. To get the exact same ones that we have, it's about $13,000 for just 200 of them. We have about 450 on site.
Did you keep some of the current chairs, or?
If we get the exact same ones, I wouldn't be able to mix and match. I mean, I wouldn't want to mix and match. This is the last slide, just looking at our events for next year. We are looking at about the same year as this year. Our corporate events and our special events, they always book a lot closer to their actual date. Weddings, we're right on track with 41. It's about the same that we have currently, or we have booked for 2025. And we still have quite a few dates open in 2026. And they're later in the year, so we still have plenty of time to book them. And then 2 events in 2027. That's all I have. Any questions?
Is there anything we can do to encourage more midweek events? Or you guys keep looking at that? I mean, I know there's only so many Friday and Saturdays for weddings, right?
Yeah, they all fight over the same dates too.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest reasons that I've been given on why people don't book in the middle of the week is purely our lighting. We're dark during the middle of the day because we can't really have the shades open because they're using the projector, or it's just the sun is just shining on them. And then once we have the shades shut, all the lights are on. At that center area, it's just really dark. So for business meetings, when they're reading things or something like that, they just have told me that it's dark. My solution to that is adding lighting. We can add lighting. We can replace our chandeliers with something that points down instead of just up, or maybe both directions. Other than that, that's the only reason I've been ever given on why we don't get more during the week.
That might be something to look at because it's hard to create more Fridays and Saturdays.
Exactly.
So
I do my best.
yeah, we need to somehow, if we're going to get that volume up, to figure that out during the week.
Yep, absolutely. I have a couple businesses that kind of fight over the same weekend in December for their holiday parties too. So I really wish we could just make more of those weekends and we can get everybody in. But yeah.
If you figure that out, let us know.
I'll do my best. A few more paydays in there too. You know?
Okay, other questions or comments for Jess? No? Thanks for good work. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on. Every year we have organizations that come and tell us what they're up to, and sometimes they even ask for money. Today we have the Dutch American Heritage Museum here, so welcome. Are you on the screen too?
We are on the screen. We'll get ourselves on the screen anyway.
Arlo's got this figured out. He's sitting back relaxing.
He does plenty.
Go with my strengths.
He does plenty. Well, I'll just start while she's futzing there. It's so nice to have a young person do these things for us. But we at the Dutch American Heritage Museum really love coming to talk to the City Council. Kind of gives us a chance to brag about our year, to look back. Arlo has been our faithful leader for a long time. He's gracious enough to let us talk. And he does plenty for the museum. I figure that Arlo saves us about $15,000 to $20,000 a year by all his free labor that he puts in maintaining the property, figuring out flooding issues in the annex. I mean, the man does a lot, so we can take this off of his plate. If you don't know, I am Sarah Heiser. I've been involved in the museum since 2013. And then we have one of our younger board members, Abby Sitzman, and I will let her introduce herself.
Yes, I'm Abby Sitzman. I'm on the board, obviously. I work for the Orange City Public Library, and I'm also a candidate for a master's degree in public history from University of Nebraska in Kearney. So it's fun to be involved.
Yes. Okay, so what a year we've had. First, we're going to talk about our outreach and collaboration. This year, we were involved in the Christmas market. We tried a little stick work event there and sold some of our goods. We also collaborated with the Queen's Costume Committee. Since this was such an unusual costume, Allison Camp helped us do an exhibit on the Spockenberg costume, and that was fun. She did a little starching show for us. Demonstration, I guess, for us. That was fun. We also collaborated with Northwestern College. Northwestern asked us to do 2 additional Nights at the Museum programming. Dr. James Kennedy was their alumni recipient this year, and he's from the Netherlands now, and he gave us a special talk about the disquieted Dutch. They also asked us, because of the amount of crowds that we get, to host their panel about their new book called Pursuing Delight, The History of Northwestern College. So we added 2 extra programs for us in collaboration. And then Abby here led a escape from the museum, collaborating with the Orange City Public Library, and I'll let her speak to that.
Yeah, that was for tweens and teens. Mostly tweens come to things. But they had a lot of fun. They escaped early, too, so we were able to give them a tour, and they did the Henry Hosper's scavenger hunt.
But of course, we still continue to collaborate with American Legion and featuring their Orange City hometown heroes on the outside of our annex. And then we also collaborate with the Greater State of Iowa, the State Historical Society. This is the 2nd year that we posted the history bus, and we did that during King's Day. And then I was one of their special speakers for their online luncheon program called History State 101. I talked about our Prohibition bootlegger story from Northwest Iowa. So that was kind of fun. And then, of course, we give a lot of tours, not just to tourists and family groups, but also to area schools. And that's from elementary school to high school. This is MOC photography class came in to take pictures. And then we also have college groups that come through the museum, too. So we're very active. And, of course, we do Tulip Festival. Didn't kind of add that in there, but we do that. And then for our reach, we have really grown with just the steady growth of people interested in our programming. So the Nights at the Museum program this year, you can see one of the photos we were filled from the front to the back. We had 2 programming events that had over 135 people at them. We estimate that this year we probably had about 900 people come to all of our Nights at the Museum programming over our 6 programs. And then we also had a 7th program. We had a special speaker from the Netherlands, Ton Sells, come and talk about Abraham Kuyper's visit to Orange City. We also added Stiffwork Craft Nights. Who knew this would be so fun? But we added 2 of them for the local community. And then in collaboration with the Tulip Festival and Mike Hoffman, we did this as a special luncheon during the 3 days of the festival. And so that was at Gezellig, and you can see we had quite a few people at that. That's been very popular. We're planning on doing that again for Tulip Festival, but we're going to move it to Koiken and have it a later morning. So that's been a great event for us. Then we continued to do our books at the museum. Last year was kind of a serious topic about the Netherlands and the Holocaust, and we featured James Scopp's book. Both Dr. James Scopp and Dr. Keith Feinart, retired English professors, lead that programming. This year we're going to feature books about the prairie, and I'm really looking forward to it. It should be very interesting. And then you probably know that we do have a big social media presence. We do a lot on Facebook and Instagram, and we get a lot of viewers that way. But we also put all of our Nights at the Museum programming on our Dutch American Heritage YouTube channel. And this year, it's really gone up. So in addition to 900 people that come and see us in the museum for our programming, we had over 1,100 viewers watch those 6 nights on YouTube. So our little increase has bumped up from the years prior by 345%. So who knew that across the United States, people love to tune in to see what we're talking about? So we kind of love that. We also collaborated with Ragbri, our fearless leader, Arlo, who's so handy, made all these wonderful plant stakes, these tulip plant stakes. So we tried to bring a little tulip festival era to our July gardens, and we were able to sell quite a few of those for Ragbri. So that was fun as well. And then we also did some new exhibits within the museum. We talked about one already with the Dutch costumes, but we also did a wedding dress exhibit that both Abby and I worked on. She did a ton of social media for that, and that drew in a lot of visitors for Tulip Festival. I know it was terrible weather for the festival, but it was really good for the museum. We were packed, and so we kind of love that. We have different things that we do that bring people in and bring excitement. We have a couple new ideas for what we'll do to bring people in this year, so stay tuned. And of course, look at that big transformation in that horrible building in the back. Thank you to Rod DeBoer and to Arlo. I know Arlo said he probably spent 75 hours painting that. Rod probably put in about the same. It is a complete transformation. So again, thank you, thank you. We can't do this without our volunteers, and it really makes the whole property look so much better. So again, thank you, Rod, and thank you, Arlo, for that. And this is also pretty cool what's happening in the museum, and it's all because of our graduate student board member. And so I'm going to let Abby talk right now about what she's doing for us.
Yeah, so kind of the capstone of my master's degree, I've undertaken a collections project for the museum. I started this fall in September, and I'll be going through the spring. And this project involves revamping the collections policy, updating our software, writing out detailed procedures, and also doing a fair amount of just grunt work of cataloging our backlog of collection items. And so when I'm done, I hope to have provided a really solid groundwork that will serve the museum into this next generation of growth and professionalism. Expenditures related to this project include paying for a modern collection software and archival quality labeling and storage supplies, both of which are a really important investment in the accessibility and the longevity of this collection.
And I should say that Abby's doing this as part of her graduate school, so we get a direct benefit. It's not costing us anything. So we're very appreciative. You should see all the piles that she has categorized in the museum. We are very excited because, as you know, our goal is to become a professional museum. A lot of people who look at a museum just think, oh, look, they have exhibits. Oh, look, the property looks nice. That is all part of it. But on the deep end, it is about caring and preserving our artifacts and creating those professional types of implementation of collection, artifact preservation, being able to find it again. Arlo knows where everything is. If we didn't have him, we'd be toast. So this is just a way to get our ducks in a row. So all these things are in place. If you look at our financials, we are doing well. We are ahead of the game. And again, a lot of that has to do with the amount of volunteer hours that we don't have to pay somebody for. We really are hoping with this end of the year letter that we will have enough money that next year, hopefully in this winter, we can start the idea of hiring a part-time person to operate the museum, take some of the load off of us so that we can continue to grow the legacy endowment and so that the museum is more self-sustaining. Abby's doing important work for us for that person to be able to step in and continue some of that work as well. So we're very excited about what we've done this past year, but we're really looking forward to 2026. And again, thank you very much for your financial support. It's a big part of our budget and for personal donations and personal time as well. Do you have any questions for us?
I went through the museum at Tulip Festival and was just blown away by the exhibit quality. Lots of museum time with my children throughout the school years, and you guys look the same as a Sioux City museum. It's very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah. That was my background, museum exhibit. That's my master's degree. So I do love doing that, and I am proud. I think all of us in the museum are proud of how it's grown and how we've transformed it. And that's part of our goal of getting a part-time staff person, because we think we do have a nice product, and we think that this can be part of the Orange City Vibrant, one of those pronged approach to get people. It's not just the parks are great, like Noah was saying. The retail's great. We've got some great restaurants. But if you have that tourist angle of the museums, then that's just helping to bring people to this community. And so thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You guys do a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, what an organization in Arlo.
I know.
Does an awful lot behind the scenes to make things happen. But for you guys, I appreciate you taking this on for your capstone project. That's a great benefit for us. So thanks to you and the other board members.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the collaboration with the other nonprofits.
We also have something going with the Orange City Arts. I'm talking to Sharon about something. So we do want to be a part of this community, and we want all of us need to work together, I think, to make this community what it is. We can't work in isolation from each other. So we love it. Yeah.
You guys are doing great. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Okay, we'll move on to the financials. Kent decided to be sick today and miss. So, Matt, do you want to highlight anything, or how do you want to handle those?
I can maybe answer any questions, very high-level questions. Otherwise, if you have anything detailed, we can certainly get back to you after Kent returns. Looking through on the financial report first of all, and then on the bills, there's just a couple things probably. But probably the biggest thing is page 4. There's a payment for $521,000 for some switch gear for a west substation. That's been delivered, so we had that. We also have final payment further up on that page for we'll talk about this here in a little bit, for the shelter house project, the Graves construction. So
That switch gear was a planned replacement.
yeah, that was a budgeted item. I think we probably did 2 years ago that ordered that. So good.
Anybody have any other questions? If you do, we sure can get you the answer. Otherwise, we'll take a motion on the financial report first.
Support.
Okay, all in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Then on all the summary of all the expenditures, Matt touched on a couple of those. Do we have a motion on those? And support, perfect. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, okay. Perfect, we're up to number 10, which is Kurt. And we are gonna talk about a voluntary annexation of property. That should be exhibit number 4 in our packet. Right?
Yeah, open the public hearing for us.
Okay, I'll open the public hearing. That, Kurt?
Okay. Yeah, so the annexation is for 100% voluntary annexation, not in an urbanized area. Which, with it being that, basically we just have to accept it by resolution and then have the Secretary of State and Iowa Board approve it. And that's basically a done deal at that point. There's no additional work, so yeah, basically just have to set it by resolution and we can move forward. And be the property west of town, like we talked earlier. I think it's 36 acres, and like the north. Marshall's off top of his head. How many acres that is developing? What's that? 20 something. Yeah. So 20 acres will be developed from Greenwood. So north half. Yep.
Yeah, they've done most of the dirt work there. Are there plans for the street yet, or is that?
In progress.
In progress, okay.
There's been a little conversation, but not a
Okay.
lot with the city on all that, so.
This is the next step, is to get the annexation in place.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other comments? Otherwise, we'll close the public hearing. Hearing none, we'll close that. Then we need a motion.
So moved.
To accept that. Support. Okay, then we're gonna vote on this by resolution. Brett?
Yes.
Darrell?
Yep.
Olivia?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Okay. We're gonna stay with Kurt. Now we're gonna talk about rezoning, and that's exhibit 5 in our packet. Take it away, Kurt.
Alrighty, so basically to rezone any property within the city, we have to set it by, set the date for it. So we're requesting or proposing the date of December 1st for the rezoning of Puddle Jumper Trail 11th edition. The reason, you have the exhibit in front of you, so the main reason for it would be the next part of the next agenda item, but lots 7 through 13 is the original part that's being requested to rezone as R2 multifamily to accommodate the future project north of there. With staff and planning and zoning, this recommendation, they're recommending lots 7 through 19 all be rezoned as R2 multifamily. Just think it's a better fit to have multifamily across from each other with some of the issues we've had with residential houses across the road. So yeah, planning and zoning is recommending lots 7 through 19 be rezoned.
Are there plans for lots 14 through 19 at this point in time?
There's no plans on there across the road. I know there's a little talk of lots 1 through 6 that at first we thought were going to have to be rezoned, but I think those are more of a duplex type housing. So, but nothing currently. I know there's a developer that's kind of interested in wherever Vision kind of goes. I mean, so there's potential for more apartment buildings.
So 7 through 13 are part of the Vision property, right?
Yep. So there'll be, I think, up to four buildings there. So 2 at first, I believe they have to do, and then.
Okay.
We have quite a few R2 multifamily units that we could build on right now, or is that inventory starting to run low?
Lot-wise, we have 4 on Juno. One of them's kind of spoke for. I haven't talked to that individual lately, but for tax credits, that I don't know if they ever heard or how that worked. So I know there's 3 for sure, possibly 4 south of Hillcrest.
Other questions for Kurt on that? Now, we'll take a motion then to set the hearing for December 1.
Yep. So moved.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Kurt, you're up to number 12.
Number 12. Got 3 up. So Another item that has to set for public hearing for December 1st would be for the approval and rezoning of the Canal Second Edition. This would be the parcel of land between the canals and 14th Street, or between the canals and Oak River Trail 11th Edition. So yeah, it's lots 2 through 11 would be R1 resident single family, and lot 1 would be multifamily. So you were here to speak to that. So planning and zoning is recommending city council approve that, or gonna recommend them to approve it. But there are some board of adjustments meetings that have to take place for some variances and setbacks to finalize that, later. So I don't know if Mark has anything to fill any more on that.
Nope, just that lot 1 would that would be a private street around that loop. And then, as Kurt mentioned, with the lots along 14th Street would be included in this development. Up to 4 8-plexes is what our plan there.
Okay, any hard questions for Kurt?
Okay. Motion to do that on December 1? That was what you need. You said public hearing.
Yeah, very good. Is there support? Support. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. We're gonna bring Earl up. Woohoo! You don't get off quite yet, Earl?
Nope. Good.
Thank you.
Well, the ongoing project with the Vision Builders, kind of the next steps, you just set the public hearing for the zoning, but we also have updated an addendum to our purchase agreement that was approved on September 2, but didn't have the real detail. So working with both Brad and the attorney for Vision Builders, we have an updated addendum that identifies specifically what would happen in that area that we've been referring to here. So continuing the understanding that lots 7 through 13 would be multifamily. They're planning on 2 initial 8-plexes. That would give them 16 of the units they need for the workforce housing tax credits, and then 2 future 8-plexes in that area. And then going north of that, Mark referred to that as Lot 1, is the larger area that the core homes would go in. There's plans there for 23 core homes. 16 of those need to meet the workforce housing tax credit requirements. Our understanding is that's about $303,000 is the average that they need to meet. So whatever they price those at, they can have a mix. Theoretically, they could have something at $250, another one at $300, another one at $350, and meet that criteria. So they're looking at what that mix would be to meet the need in that area with workforce housing tax credit homes. So this addendum identifies those details and then goes on just to clarify what the city would be contributing toward that project. On September 2, we had said we anticipated about $1.3 million was the engineer's initial estimate. There were bids taken by Vision Builders, and the city's portion came out at $1,248,000. So that's what's outlined in this addendum. So bringing it to you for approval with the understanding that the rest of these steps would take place with the approved zoning, which you're already working on, and approval by the Board of Adjustments and Appeals for some setbacks that they would need to approve in the Lot 1, because the setbacks are greater in R2 areas. So that we're actually going to need a variance for them to be more like R1 setbacks in those areas. So Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, we're talking about 22 to 25 feet setbacks off of the street, right?
Yeah, for the garages, some of the front porch of the house, I don't know if you've seen them at Dort, but the front porch covering sticks out a little bit farther. So those would be more in the 12 to 15 range. And then the garages would be in the 20 to 25 range, so that there would be a vehicle sticking to the sidewalk. But trying to get that intimate, small community feel there.
So I'm open to any questions you might have, but that's what the addendum identifies.
Okay, thanks, Earl. Is there a motion then to approve that addendum?
Support.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes. Matt, we are up to number 14. We got great news.
Yeah, you bet. So we've been advertising and looking for a little while here for a couple positions in the utilities, and I bring two here this evening. The next two items, one is the electric lineman. We talked about some time ago that we anticipate a retirement there, and so we are in an effort to have some overlap and hand off some knowledge that a long career can provide. With Mike Klotwijk there, we are recommending hiring Chase Edwards to fill this role. He is currently working in the electric and gas departments of the city of Alton. So he is, I think he's been there for about 3 years and desires to be more of a fully electric lineman. So we've went through that process carefully, being his works for our sister community there, but he's excited to fill that, and our crews get along very well with Chase, so we recommend hiring him.
Projected start date or to be determined?
In the next week or two.
Okay, so that'll happen pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay, super. Any other questions for Matt?
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's really good.
Will you need, go ahead. Will you need to go to any additional training, or he's?
So he is working through the journeyman process or the apprenticeship program. So that's a 4-year program, and he's, I think, 3 years into that already. And we have, could be a little tricky. We have 2 other linemen just starting into that apprenticeship program, and there has to be a certain ratio of current journeymen to those going through the apprenticeship. The journeyman has to sign off on the training, and so we might need to work that with our current guys with Chase. But yeah, he in about a year or two will be a fully certified journeyman.
Awesome. That's super. Well, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Support. Support. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All same sign. Okay. Great.
Yeah. Then the next one is in the water wastewater, and that is Ty Taylor. He works for the city of Broken Bow, mainly in the street department, but has some other training in the utility area there as well. So since he is, I think it's a 4-hour drive there, he is actively looking for living arrangements here in Orange City, or at least in our to abide by our residency policy. He will likely be looking to start after the first of the year, so it'll be a little bit yet, but he's pretty excited. And
yeah, it's great we can get that position filled.
Right.
Okay, are there any comments for Matt on that? Otherwise, thanks for working on that and getting those things filled.
Does Ty have quite a bit of training to do yet with wastewater?
As far as certifications, yes, he doesn't have any of those, water, wastewater. It's an opportune time to get him rolling with our current staff and so on. So, but some of those take time and experience to get there. But starting him now, I think we're in good shape. So, yeah.
Okay, is there a motion to approve Ty?
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, great. Glad to get those positions filled and get going. Earl, are you coming back up to talk about the Puddle Jumper Shelter, or is that just Matt or Mark? Somebody, I'm not ready to talk about it.
No, just ready to accept the shelter house. Like Noah mentioned, got finished a little bit later in the year, where we got about 2 weeks before it needed to be winterized, but I think Graves did a nice job. finishing up, and I think it'll be awesome next year. So just need to have a resolution to accept that project.
I'll make that motion.
Support. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and take the vote. It's by resolution, so Daryl?
Yes.
Olivia?
Yes.
Yes.
Aaron? Brett? And I'll vote yes. Super. Thanks. That looks good. Then you want to talk about number 17 here?
I'll stay up here. This one has a few different resolutions that we'll need to do. There's a pretty detailed process that we need to follow for the assessment process. We started this a while ago before we started the project, and this is now that the project is complete, we need to accept it and then follow the process for the assessment. So I think most of everyone was around when we started the project, but for this one we are assessing a portion of the properties, $55 per linear foot of frontage, and that matches what's been done throughout the city on other assessments. If they have been assessed previously for a different street project, they have not been. They will not be reassessed if they're on a corner lot. So I think to begin those proceedings, I think we need to accept the work. Now all of that has been complete.
Okay, so we need a resolution to accept that.
Yep.
Make a motion?
For support? Support. Okay, motion and support. Everybody in favor, say aye. Oh. You're correct, thank you. Olivia?
Yes.
Yes.
Aaron? Brett?
Yes.
Daryl?
Yep.
Rod? The old mayor is on that. Thanks, Daryl.
That's good.
Okay, now we need a resolution ordering preparation of final plat and schedule of assessments. Any comments on that?
Yeah, no, this will be match the preliminary plat. There is no change other than just noting that that property was owned by the city when the project occurred. It's been sold, but since it was the city's when we prepared the preliminary plat, that's why it's shown that way.
Okay, we have that resolution.
So,
Support.
Okay, Darren?
yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Daryl?
Yep.
Olivia?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Then we need a resolution adopting and levying final schedule of assessment. Any comments on that, Mark?
Nope, like I mentioned, we're doing $55 per linear foot, and I think you guys have that schedule. So it matches the preliminary assessment, and that assessment is based on when the preliminary plat was prepared, not current valuations for those properties. So
Okay, perfect. Is there someone who wants to make that resolution? Thank you.
Support.
Okay, resolution was made and supported. Brett?
Yes.
Daryl?
Yes.
Olivia?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Okay, I think that takes care of 17, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think, yep, we've got everything.
We're good, Mark?
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, Orange City Christian School has a donation request. We have a sheet in front of us. Jason, is there some comments you wanted to make? Otherwise, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, thanks for letting us come and give you a little update. Oh, I'll come over here. How about that?
Let's just make sure we get your voice on there for people.
There you go. Yeah, thank you that you're allowing us to come and give a little update on the project. I got Jim Rogers. He's from Fellowship Development, and we're partnering with them to help us reach our goal so that we can break ground and build this project. So he may be able to answer a question too about the fundraising or the current fundraising project or the program that we're doing right now. In March, Travis and I came and gave you the information, so I apologize if you don't have that in front of you. I didn't bring another copy of it, I'm sorry. But that it hasn't really changed. The only thing we know is that the architect gave a new estimate, which went up $1 million, which is, that's what happens when, as things keep getting more and more. We have really reinvigorated our fundraising, and as you see from that flyer that you got there, just in the last couple months, We have over $750,000 that we've done with this effort in pledges and gifts. We have 146 prospects that we've contacted in the last couple months, 108 yet to go. If you look halfway down the sheet there, it gives you the overall totals. So we're over 5 million now, which is a great milestone to hit. And we've had decisions from 481 prospects and families throughout the whole project that we've done. That's the last number of years that we've been fundraising for this. So we have a lot of people that are invested, at least in some way. And we would love to have the city partner with us again. I think last time we came and we talked about anywhere up to 500,000, and that would be just over 4% of our new projected number is what that would be.
So your new project total is close to 12?
Yes. And that includes the renovation that we did this past summer, which has been a big blessing.
Anybody have a question for Jason? Otherwise, we'll get into the discussion on it.
The new renovation is wonderful.
It is.
Had the honor to sub as a school nurse and got to enjoy that.
You did.
It was very well done. Yeah. Yeah, good use of the space.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Council, Brett, you want to say something?
Yeah, I guess my first thing, just to be transparent, is I've gotten the opportunity to work with Jason and Jim over the past few months, serving on a committee that's reaching out to the constituents of OCCS. So when we get to the point of voting, I'll probably refrain from voting.
Okay. Thank you.
Grateful to have two great schools in Orange City, and seeing our students being served so well is wonderful.
Where are we at on our pledges? Sure. What do we have left for the grade school project? And
so Unity, we are on our last year. This current fiscal year is our last payment of $50,000 to Unity's project.
Okay.
And then the MOC Elementary, the ball fields project. This is our third out of 5 years. So both.
Those are both $250,000. Yeah. So even if we do another 250 and it would start it in our July 1, 26 fiscal year, that's right. That's when the Unity will fall out.
That's correct. Yeah. And that Unity one came out of the last of the OC Communications. And the MLC project is out of the electric fund, so I think the utilities would be.
But we spend a lot of money. We spend a lot of time, energy, and resources on economic development, on retail, industrial, commercial parks, whatever, and we're seeing the benefit. But I'm not sure there's a better economic development tool in our bag than our school systems, the two schools plus the college, and we partner with them every time they have asked. So we're just lucky that they asked, that they're growing.
And very fortunate to have good school systems that are growing. I mean, that's a big plus for our community.
I'd be in favor of supporting the $250,000. I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Any other discussion? Otherwise, let's vote on it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Brett abstained. Janet, just for the record. Okay, thank you. Thanks for being here. Blessings on the rest of the fundraising. Okay, we're up to administrative reports. Let me kick that off with you, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. Just a couple of things. We talked a lot about some different projects and developments going on in the utility department head meeting this morning. Just reminded about all those things that we have. I think over the last month or two, as we close out the season, we've installed close to 15 to 20 new gas services, just anticipating some building over the winter and other things, and see work happening at out west. Our Perry is behind Dollar Fresh working, and of course the RTI project on the Mills property. Those are all great things, and a lot of great things happening there. With looking at strategic planning, we've looked at that or talked about that a few times. I think our plan is to have we'll give a summary, I think a quarterly summary at our next meeting, and we'll have our existing strategic plan, and we are looking at doing a strategic planning session in after the first of the year with our new council, and just get that kicked off. Get a good start there. So we're looking at after the first of the year for that session. Kent has handed out budget worksheets for our utilities and other departments to work on, and that process is starting again this year. So we'll continue working there. That's all I have.
Okay, super. Thanks, Matt. Janet, anything?
I don't have anything.
Ryan,
I just want to take an opportunity. Matt and Earl and I were chatting with the QuickStar opening. Just now would be a good time to say thank you to City Council and OCDC for the MOU that you approved just this last time. Without an MOU, an agreement between the City of Orange City and OCDC, there's not land available for developments like QuickStar, Industry Centrum, with all of the things going on there. That MOU is incredibly important for development, for recruiting, for opening up land for that purpose. So first of all, thank you to City Council and OCDC for that MOU. Second, just the cooperation between the city staff, between Matt and Kurt, Kent, Janet, and Earl, with all of the inner workings to be able to get QuickStar to move forward and finally open. I think everybody was very, very patient, and there were conversations for 2 years about it, but that's just an important aspect of having the cooperation of the city staff. We work well together to get things like that, so thank you to the city staff. And then last, just an encouragement. It's wonderful to have new businesses like QuickStar in town, but the value of buying local is you can't be stressed enough. Obviously, wonderful to have QuickStar in town, but even more deep and important is just our local ownership and the value of buying local and supporting our local businesses and local owners and everything. Obviously, we're very grateful to have new businesses into town, and we recruit for that purpose, but I would be remiss if I didn't say how important it is to buy local. So that was all I had.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for good work on that. Believe it or not, it does take a long time to get a business like that here, and it takes a lot of work behind the scenes, so thanks for everybody working together to get that done. Earl, you have anything?
No, just to add what Ryan said, I looked back. Mark Gall started conversations with QuickStar in October of 2020. So from the initial conversations to actually the doors open took 5 years.
Yeah. So, lots of things are being worked on that people will not know about just because it's behind the scenes, but keep at it because that's what it takes. So good. Kurt, you got anything?
Nope.
Dan? Brett?
Nothing.
Daryl?
You have the new LED lights on St. Paul.
Yes.
Why is one of them a different color?
That's a great question.
Well, you caught it, Daryl. That's what they were wondering.
Those haven't been replaced. The one that looks purple or blue,
Yeah.
that's been that way for years.
Well, it just stands out now. The other
Yeah.
ones are so
Goes-
Is it
yeah,
right
we
by
stopped
Second
at
American?
Street.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so we didn't go the next mile. Or
I
next,
know the poor quality of the LEDs, they deteriorate. Some of the early ones, they turn purple. I think
That's what this one
has
is.
some stories.
It's just right by the Redeemer.
It's Mid-America too, right?
It's Mid-America, yeah.
Twice everything.
Still be hard.
No, that is their light.
Yeah.
They had them up. In fact, all the poles that are still up along the golf course, those were their poles, and so we put them up. So we'll work on to replace.
This looks, yeah. Okay.
Okay, Olivia?
Lots of good comments this week about excitement towards all the new housing options coming out. So thank you to everybody for your work on that.
Nothing. I don't have anything with that then. Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor say yes.
Yes.